Okay. All right, what's your pleasure now? Are we gonna go with, Mr. Terry's suggestion on regular?
I
on
think so.
4.1?
I think it should be at a regular supplement meeting.
You guys tell me.
That's my opinion.
So put regular business meeting?
Regular Board of Selectmen business meeting following the closure of bids. Are you prepared to approve any of these at this point, or do you want to see them one more time?
I want to see it one more time. I want to see it all clean, done.
And maybe by then we'll know for sure we need it to them.
Beat this up enough, let's just get a clean copy and move on. College degree or?
Well, it was a good attempt,
There's nothing imminent, so except this dragging on, that's all. Next item, unfinished business. Consideration placement of prime parking lot on the town warrant.
Yeah, I believe at your last meeting, you had asked at least a specific question on whether or not the article itself, some of the residents are concerned that the article had lapsed. And as a result of that, you, as a board, no longer have the authority to purchase the property. I think that was one of the arguments. And as a result of that, I was asked to contact the auditor for an opinion based on the way the article is written. I've gone ahead and received an opinion from the auditor, which is no opinion. He does not want to be in a position where he's giving you an opinion on what that body of that article is, other than the reason he's carried it forward is that the staff has indicated to him that it's our opinion that the purpose has not been exercised, and as a result of that, the article still stands. Having said all that, we then contacted MMA. MMA's legal folks indicated to us that in their opinion, because the article did not have non-lapsing in the language of the article, it is their opinion that the article has lapsed. Then I contacted, they always suggest, that's our opinion, but contact your attorney. The town attorney reviewed the language and indicated to me he'll provide us a written decision on it, is that in his opinion, the purpose has not been exercised, and as a result of that, the warrant article still stands. So you've got varying opinions, and he'll provide that information to you, but I think in the end, it doesn't preclude you getting back to the main argument here. And the main argument is that some of your residents have suggested very strongly that you place it on the warrant, so it has another up and down vote as to whether whether or not you wish to have it purchased. So I think we're back to square one, because we have varying opinions of whether or not it's legal or not.
it belongs on the warrant in my mind, only because the townsfolks have the authority to make that determination. And regardless, it's been on the warrant twice, and didn't seem to be a problem. So a third time might not do any harm, and put it on the warrant again. That's my opinion.
Hey, can I say something? Okay. I kind of give this some thought, and I agree with Bob that it should be put back on the town warrant. But however, I would like to see it put on there for a specific purpose.
Yes.
And as I said before, and it's just in my mind that if we have something in this town for the kids, they're probably like basketball court. We used to have it here in the town hall. I was in my forties, for goodness sakes, and we had a women's team, we played basketball. And because we had to take them out, because somebody said you couldn't get insurance, which was belonging to me. But anyway, I would like to have it, but I thought maybe if we,
I'll get you.
if the chairman set up a committee of townspeople to define what they would like to have it for, so when we put on the warrant, it's for a specific purpose. Now my opinion is I'd like to see like a basketball court and maybe a skateboard, then they wouldn't have to use my yard. Not that they're doing it now, because those kids are not.
So,
You talk about forming a committee to find out possible uses.
well,
Yeah,
no,
so define
she
it,
wants
so
to
that-
clearly define it.
Yeah, and then
You
so,
want it to be so narrow that it's going, if
So
we're
that
gonna
people-
buy it,
yes, right.
we're gonna buy it for
For
this.
a purpose,
Okay.
yes, for a reason,
I
so
follow
people
you.
know what they're buying it for, not, well, just because, you know.
I would like to see us get it without a specific purpose, because if we need a little more land for the Bateman project, we will have it, that abuts the land, the abatements, the Batemans have. I just went over and checked, it's 2.8 of an acre. And if we needed some, and if we set it up for a specific purpose, then we can't use any of it, if it became necessary.
So your argument is to keep it open.
Right,
It
at
is.
least until that project is all done. And if a little more land is needed, we'll have it to give.
You got anything, Joe? Okay. I did have one. I'll take
Yeah.
your comment.
Don Burgess, Eleanor, you brought up 2-3 times on basketball court. You ever go up to the rec field, see what's up there?
Yeah,
There's 4 basketball courts up
well, I'm saying something for the kids. I didn't
Yes, for the
necessarily mean
kids.
that. That was just you know.
I know.
It was just an
there.
example,
My
actually.
suggestion is, don't put it on the ballot. If people want it, let them petition it. We voted on this twice now. I'm sorry.
You don't have to be sorry, sir.
But you know what? That basketball court up there is not open at night. These kids are out at night.
You want them to hang around down the street then?
Oh, he just
Well,
he made his comment, let it go.
They're hanging around down there anyway.
He made his comment, let it be, please. Yes?
If it does go back on the warrant, if we can't clearly define what it's for, couldn't we just simply put on there that no decisions can be made as far as what its purposes would be, such as, like, you're saying maybe give some of it to a gadget.
Given an option.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is in the warrant, have it stated that no decision can be made without the public being able to vote on the use of it. So if it wanted to be used for kids' rec area, we could vote on that. Or if it wanted to be used on something else that we're not sure of right now, we would be able to vote on that as well and let us have a say as far as the purpose of it.
Mr. Hall, you've been quiet then.
Dana Hall, what do we need it for? You made the statement here a while ago, the town didn't wanna be in the real estate business. If we don't have a use for it, let it go. We need the money somewhere else. We need to fix the fire station, we got all kinds of places to spend money. We don't need to buy it just for the fun of it. I say put it back out to the voters, let them say yes, they want it, or no, they don't.
Yep.
What hurts it gonna
One more in the back.
Dave Stolpe, and I do agree with him, we have voted on this twice. Once no, once yes, 2 out of 3. Put it back on the ballot.
Two completely different votes, though.
What's your pleasure?
Okay.
I move that we put it back on the warrant, on the ballot,
I second it.
Discussion? Personally, I'm not ready to move on it. Voted on it twice. I think there's been a couple good suggestions, but, I mean, how many times are you gonna vote on something? I don't know.
I want to find out how it stands at this point.
We're still,
And I'm
we're still
not
waiting
sure.
an official legal opinion on it also.
Well, you know, in years past, and I don't know if this is the same thing, but we've never, nothing was always, everything was, non-lapsing, unless it was stated it was non-lapsing. Now, that has been, for the time that I served on this board, and that was 6 years from 77 on, and then 6 years afterwards. So I don't know, you know, I almost agree with them, MMA, that it was non-lapsing.
How about your CIP accounts? Those are never called non-lapsing.
Because we state that.
I don't know.
I think you find that the CPI accounts are,
Some of them last 3 or 4 years.
well, yes, they do, but that, because it was voted non-lapsing.
I don't know.
But I know if something wasn't said, non-lapsing, we had one, I was trying to think which one it was, that we, every year that we did have, that we did do non-lapsing. And I don't think it was,
Well,
like,
So
I don't,
you're,
my opinion is still, I'm gonna wait for an official legal opinion on this, so.
There's a motion, a second.
Right, we have a
Motion is
motion
second. I'm
and a
just,
second,
we're in
yeah.
a discussion now,
Okay.
and I'm giving my opinion. So, is there any other opinions from,
Well, I would like to. We've got one from the MMA and one from Allen, who else is there?
well,
Well,
we haven't got
we're
it,
we're gonna get a written.
we haven't got it officially
Okay.
from Alan. Alan just,
Deal with it after that.
okay. Got a motion and a second to put it back on the warrant. All in favor? All opposed?
You gotta wait and see now what they come up with and take the vote again.
Can I get some further direction, from you guys too, in terms of, it's not a dead issue. You wanna wait, is it my understanding that you wanna wait until the opinion is rendered? To whether or not you're gonna put it on a ballot? Okay. So as soon as I get the opinion, then we should have it back on a ballot for, discussion again.
Back on the agenda.
Back on the agenda, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm surprised, me
Okay.
too. What a job.
Public comments coming up.
Okay.
This is all over. New business, setting of the tax rate.
Yeah, I provided to you, the information from the assessors, indicating, the range of the, rate. Right now, we have a tax rate of $12.80, and then based on the approvals that we received in May, we could have a tax rate of $14.22, up to $14.92, based on the, parameters that are provided to you as Board of Selectmen members. The assessors have come back and recommended a $14.30 rate, which would provide $50,748 in your overlay account, in the anticipation that you may or may not need it. And then what that does, if you've read your notes, what it does is that a $230,000 home in Berwick, their taxes will go up $89 a year, about $1.71 a week. So, their recommendation is $14.30, whatever your pleasure is.
I don't know, I'm a little bit concerned about the 50,000 overlay personally. I'm just questioning. We have an awful lot of work that should be done in town, to municipal facilities. And although we've got 55,000 to put a roof on the building up to the police station, and to repair or temporarily repair the fire station, I question if that is going to be enough funds to deal with that. Now that, in my mind, there are some options here. The capital improvement money that the fire department gets should be able to be used for a repair and upgrade of the building, along with a portion of 55,000. And that would certainly help. I'm not sure that 50,000 overlay I pay them just like everybody else, but I'm not concerned about my end of it, as I am concerned about the welfare of the community.
May I just make an observation here, if I may?
Sure.
Number one, the past, how the board has looked at overlay accounts. We always have this argument that
Yes, we do.
basically overlay is used to round your tax rate. That's basically what it does. But some people have also looked at that number as being a number that they have in the back of their mind in the event that we have to give back abatements. And,
Well, maybe we need more then, the way we give back abatements.
in the past, that's what they've used it for. They've made that argument that we've used the money for abatements. So, what Bob is talking about is breaking absolute new ground for us, in terms of looking at it under a scope of providing more money into a fund balance account. And I have to tell you, it would not be able to be tapped unless the townspeople voted to provide you the opportunity to tap that fund balance to be used for other things. So,
It's not really an overlay, in other words.
no, but,
Per se.
you can use it to create, this is one of the discretion things that the board has, you can use it to create, additional fund balance if in fact you have, other thoughts in mind in the future, as Bob has alluded to.
What did you have last year?
It was somewhere around $80,000, it might have been a little bit less.
And you used 35,000 some odd dollars.
Yeah, we
of
did.
it.
Yeah,
And,
we haven't
and the
come
rest
to
of
this.
it was put into the unfunded balance?
It just reverts into that.
Well, that's the way I always thought it did, but 1430 is $1.50 increase in our mill rate,
Yes,
and that's a big, in my opinion,
sure is.
that's a big increase for some people.
I agree with you.
Any increase is a big increase.
Yeah, but $1.50, I don't remember this town ever going $1.50 before.
Well, you gotta take a look at why we're at $1.50. To be realistic, the state didn't help us out a whole lot here by shortchanging us, excise tax money, return money. The school department got whacked for, what, 800,000?
Well, remember though, they got, that was part of that stimulus they got last year, this year we had to replace it.
Yeah,
So
that's
we
what I'm
did,
saying.
we did get that.
It's really, it's a catch-22, and I'm certainly not in favor of raising taxes either, but, you know, I would rather see us put a little more money into the overlay account so that we don't have to raise that kind of money during the course of the year.
But you know, if something happens that we need it during the course of the year, we can go to the unfunded balance and with a town meeting, vote, they can vote to use
But
that
if you
money.
take a look at our unfunded balance,
Yeah.
it's seriously low.
Was too, well, in checking the other towns around us, ours is just as well as good as theirs.
We're very fortunate in this town.
What are we,
don't have
what are we, 2.5 or 2.2?
many outstanding
It's
bonds.
around 2.2, I think, right
Yeah, I
now,
think
in the
that's
last
what
audit.
it was. I think, no, I thought I read, and I'll go back and look at South Berwick, they're not even up to 2 million.
Well, that's South Berwick. We don't live there. We live here in Berwick.
Well, but we do just what they do.
Goodness
But
gracious.
Lebanon isn't even as high either. I have both town reports.
I think I think what you're arguing here is, you know, Bob is really, looking at something that's breaking new ground for you folks, and I don't think, you know, with all due respect to Bob, you know, that's an idea that I think you guys need to flush out, but in my view, in the economic times that we're in right now, and we knew that we were gonna be at $1.50 when that, we knew we were gonna be at 1.5 when the budget passed, so I would strongly suggest that you go along with the assessor's recommendation and keep it at 1430. And we should have these discussions, as Bob has alluded to, in the future as to what we wanna do in terms of strengthening that fund balance, because one of the things that your auditor has told you, as well as your finance director, is that our fund balance needs to be at $3 million.
Well, yeah, but that is just, that's just a figure that somebody's picked. I'm
Well,
not
I
sure
think-
we need to be up there.
I certainly think that our auditor and finance director can provide to you.
Well, I just read a big article in the Portland Press Herald on all that stuff too, and it just all doesn't jive together to me.
Well, they can certainly provide you some information to look at and make an informed decision based on that. But that would be my recommendation to you right now, is to stay at 1430.
I make a motion that we set the tax rate at 14.
And I guess I'll second it.
Further discussion?
The thing is, we've gotta have, we can't have an overlay of 19.5 because they made so many mistakes in the assessment office that we'd be going to hole on that one, that's for sure.
It's certainly not fair to them, Selectman Murphy.
Well, it was 35,000, it's almost 36,000 this year.
That doesn't mean they made any mistakes, ma'am. That means that somebody's come in and looked at their card and made adjustments accordingly.
Well, if you go
I'd
back,
have to
if you go back through the list of them, it's, they were, billed to the wrong people.
I understand that, Judge.
And all, I remember we sold the house, and my name was in the town report, because you know what, you know where the bill was sent to? To Eleanor Murphy in Bedford, New Hampshire. I think I've driven through Bedford, New Hampshire, but I've never stopped there in all my life. So, you know, there's a big error there when they get my address up there.
Well, we have a motion and a second. Do you wanna raise the tax rate any further than that, or not? How do you feel about it?
I disagree with Keith in the sense that I think that we should up it some. You know, if you up it 31,000, if you take a look at that, we're talking, around roughly, 12 cents a week increase. Boy, I'm sorry, but I just think that we're heading in the wrong direction here, and I'm nervous about that.
But why would we be taking money from the overlay for anything else but what it's for? Or what we've always spent it for?
Well, there has been emergencies show up and stuff.
But we got an unfunded balance that we can go to for that, and put it back in next year if we
But
think we need to.
it also goes, anything that goes into the unfunded balance, which would raise that balance.
Oh, that's true, but, I mean, you're raising them.
Well,
I
my opinion-
guess I'd rather take it in small bits than to take it all in one lump sum. We took it in all one lump sum this year, and we got hit hard, there's no question about it. And I just think if we aggressively do it in a smaller tone, over a period of time, we would be financially in a better position.
You have a motion and a second, Mr. Chairman.
Yes.
That was on the 1430.
All in favor of setting a tax rate at 14.30?
Yes,
That's the motion?
yes.
All in favor? Opposed?
Okay. Thank you.
Any abatement supplements?
None.
Public comment?
Peggy Wheeler again. My question is, I brought this up initially about whether that money was still there or not, because I actually remember, I know when I was on the board with Eleanor, that non-lapsing terminology was always used. But it wasn't that long ago that and I think Keith, you were here, that there was a warrant article that was redone one year to include the non-lapsing terminology, so it wouldn't have to be on there, on the warrant every year.
Yes, there was one.
So I have not had time to go back and research which one it was, but it would suggest to me that this isn't something that the board has been unaware of.
In fact, think about it, now it'll come up to me.
I
which
mean,
one
I
it
know,
was.
I've been hoping it would come come to me, but it hasn't, I
Do you
back to
remember
research
when
it.
it was, Peg?
I don't know, but I'll go back and research it now, Keith.
No,
my
no,
God,
you
this
don't
is
need
so-
to do
But we
that.
did do it once, and
Were
that's
you on the-
why this came to me.
Were you on the board at the time?
No, this one's been since I got off, there was
This
one that
was-
we did.
it was
We
the
always
record
did it that way when we were on the board. We always included that terminology, and I knew this one wasn't written that way.
Alright,
So-
so it had to be sometime, when was the last time you served?
I've been on school board for 7 years, so 8 years
2004.
ago.
My first year was your last year.
So it was '04, so it'll be from that point
Yeah,
on,
somewhere in
okay?
there.
I'll take a look at it.
But then my question to the board and Jim is, so MMA has told you it's wrong. And I'm gonna bet, and I'll stick my neck out and say, I think Alan has not done this board any favors. I think Alan will give you whatever opinion you want. So if you got a recommendation from MMA saying that money's not there, and now Alan writes you one that says it is, what are you basing your decision on about where that stands right now?
That was, MMA was just a personal opinion from one person.
That's MMA, I bet you use them
But-
for a
but
lot of
it was-
other
it was a journey.
recommendations.
I'm not sure who it was.
Yeah, it was.
They
a-
have
it was
attorneys,
one of the staff
attorneys.
attorneys.
And I'm quite certain you use them for other things, so, I mean, you're cherry picking what you wanna listen to from MMA then, and I think that's
I
dangerous
have,
business.
in all the years working with MMA, I have never found them to be wrong.
No.
Because they do a lot of research, and they have a lobbyist right there at the legislature to know exactly what goes on day to day. Chairman and, what's his name?
Yeah, Jeff
They're
Herman.
kind of in the business of telling you what you wanna hear too, to tell you the truth. Cause they serve cities and towns, that's what keeps them, that's why they have an association. So, I'll take a private attorney over MMA any day.
Well, the other thing, a private attorney is very good, and I'm not pushing that, but the fact is, all they do is state statutes. They don't do everything else, and I'm sure Alan Shepard doesn't just do municipalities. He did, he probably stopped to them.
Any more comment? Yes?
Yeah, Pete Perry. I had a rumor that the South Berwick dispatch was closing. Is that true, Keith? You know, we're in the mountain, they're so we're going to have to renegotiate with some other dispatch company.
You know, it's interesting you found that out. How do you manage to get those information?
Oh, I got it,
I'm in a
actually.
pretty big,
Oh,
heavy
you got it.
email stream.
I had a meeting with the town manager, last week, who indicated to me that, they may be looking at closing that, and wanted to, find out what position the town was going to take in terms of moving forward. We're in the preliminary stages of working on that.
Did you know about that?
No, we just found out about it,
But last week you said.
right?
Actually, during our last meeting, I was getting text messages from people who were at the South Berwick
I
meeting.
would've thought you might have emailed on everything else, you might email.
So it
around.
could impact a contract and all of it.
Yeah, as I understand it, we'll be looking at it towards the budget process for the next fiscal year.
So we're locked in with this
Right,
budget.
it wouldn't impact right now, as I understand it.
They made an agreement to keep it for 1 year.
Probably about it.
Right. Any other comment? Okay, I'll take a motion to adjourn.
Oh, all
You all
right.
right?
I'd like to bring up one more
Yeah, I'm
thing.
getting my pocketbook.
Ready to second that?
Sorry, I wasn't.
Still second it. Okay,
Wait a minute.
we can have one, we got a motion to second adjourn, Eleanor, but we can have discussion.
Well,
Please make it quick.
I got a letter from the sewer district. Did all of you get one? I'm sure I wasn't the only one that got one. In fact, it says copy to everybody. About the policy. When is this board gonna sit down with the sewer district and discuss this stuff?
We did,
You and Pete,
and you,
when I was here. That's not the board.
that's all that showed up. That was their discussion. That's
So
all
the
they
rest
wanna
of-
discuss. They don't wanna discuss with us.
Oh, I don't know. I didn't get the feeling they didn't wanna discuss it.
No, how did you
Maybe,
take,
but I
how did
just
you
said-
take that, Keith?
Well, they certainly, were very favorable on our request for reconsideration on some,
I know, but this is a letter on, what are we aren't gonna work
What
on
letter, what date is your
What's the
letter?
date of it though?
July 5th. And we've done nothing about it.
Oh, we met with them.
We met
After
on
that.
the
Yeah,
27th of
but
July.
we haven't decided what we're gonna do about any of this stuff. And it's about the backwater, or whatever it is anyway.
What's it
Anyhow,
about?
You know what, but I will tell you, I am going to meet with them and I wanna hear the other side. So I will be meeting with Jay and sitting down discussing all this. So you might as well, I'm not gonna do it behind anyone's back, I'm gonna do it right out front. And see if I can just, at least clear in my mind what is going on.
Are you gonna afford me the same opportunity to sit down and talk to me?
You need,
I will sit down and talk with you anytime, anytime you
Please
want me to.
make that appointment.
No, you
you
make
do
it.
need, you do need your
then
fellow colleagues to.
First time next week, Monday of next week, fine?
Right now it is,
Okay.
nothing,
Just let me know.
no
You
emergency
do
happening.
need your colleagues' approval to do that, and I would,
No, I don't need a colleague's approval to go down and meet with the sewer
yes, you
district.
do. Yes, you do.
Well,
And
don't approve it,
I
fine,
would,
I'll be there.
and I don't mind if you do, only after you have a clear discussion with Keith. Cause he sent us plenty of emails on this whole issue, plenty of them.
Well, I'm not going to agree to that, because I don't know just when I'm gonna be able to do all that. I do have something else on my plate right at
I
the time.
understand that, I
I
understand that.
will, and if I can make a meeting, I do want to know what happened in the background, I
I'm
have
saying
no
I
idea.
don't have a problem you meeting with
And I
me.
don't think you have a right to tell me
No, you
when
don't.
I'm gonna meet with somebody. I'm a member of this board,
Yes, and
and
if
if
you're
you
gonna
don't,
sit,
and if you people don't wanna meet, I
If you're
offered,
gonna
I
sit-
said, why don't we all meet, and you said no.
if you're gonna sit down representing the board,
I'm not representing the board, I'm representing Eleanor Murphy,
Represent the people.
for
Yeah.
information.
Yes.
Yes, the people.
you are a selectman though.
Yes, and I should be
You want-
able to get information.
If you're going there simply as a resident, fine.
Well, I'm going for information, I'm going where, you know, wherever they wanna, whatever they wanna call me.
A motion is on the floor to
Yes.
adjourn.
All in favor?
Was that unanimous?
Yeah, oh yeah, I just want to adjourn. I got 18 miles to go.